Goodness. I gotta stop taking naps after work. I'm just wrecked. Goodness, I'm tired, dude. Alright. Jeez Louise. I gotta stop taking naps after work, you guys. I just get too tired. Yo, Kerwin! What's going on, my guy? Welcome back into the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Controls. Alright. Name is Kitty. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a good day today. Solar says, yo, thanks for helping me in my Python homework. Is that homework? Do I help you with your homework? That's cool. Awesome, dude. Thanks so much for coming in, Solar. How has the content been helping? Let me know specifically. I would love to know so I can focus in on those areas. Hey, Dean, how's it going? Just gaining new skills, challenging ourselves over the past year and a half to learn programming, build projects such as, SpectroSim and ChromaPlot. SpectroSim. Right, so these are some of our pages we've built on the site here. So I'll go ahead and search that up and stuff like that. So cool biochemistry related products, but also I have just kind of a natural insight or I guess passion for business. So I would like to, that's what we're going to be working on over the next few weeks here. is implementing a business, or kind of I'll go over the details here. All right. So, for those that are new here, my name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. And I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls that are used in patient diagnostics and research and development, yada, yada, yada. I've been challenging myself over the past year and a half to learn and teach myself programming and computer science, as I find the topics and subject matter interesting, and I feel that having a tech-based knowledge in today's society is essential for, you know, in as a skill, I think. So we are working on our business here. So for those that don't know, I do own a business, or a small business that I own with my lady friend. We run and operate Birdie Rose Clothes, which is a vintage rehoming company, where we source, vintage goods and we rehome them to our customers. Vintage goods as in primarily female clothing at the moment. We are expanding into men's and unisex clothing, but mainly female for the time being. Now, we pride ourselves a little bit differently from being kind of a typical vintage reseller in that we don't mark up our items heavily, as we kind of cap our margins at a certain percentage, because we don't want to offer items above a certain markup, as we don't want to rip our customers off, because personally I am trying to keep a business model that I would also respect as a customer. So all of our products are offered at a fairly good rate for where we acquired and sourced them, and they're also of pretty good quality too. So we're pretty picky about what we pick up. So what's going on here? So over the past few weeks, we've been developing this app, or application really, a web application, for being kind of the main website for Birdie Rose Clothes and kind of showcasing our products and whatnot. Now, we're not having any checkout or carting options, right? Oh, we're in the Whoops, I forgot to change the Twitch back over. Let me do that. Thanks for reminding me, Mr. Wolfie. Why did it log out? Let me get logged out. Let me try. Let me fix the Twitch here. Dashboard. Edit. Yeah. Let me see here. So YouTube. I'll say it's the 16th. Say teaching. All right, there we go. Thanks for reminding me there. I appreciate that. All right, we got that fixed up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get loaded up here for today. So this was our old project. I was loading it for you guys to see. So SpectroSim, right? We built this project in the past where you load chemical compounds in from PubChem database API, and then you can generate their spectrum absorption, right, curves via the data given from the API recall. And so then it's like a nice little clean setup here, and you can do quite a few different types of compounds, right, and generate their curves. Looks nice. You can also download them too. So now that we are done with that, we're going to be building Birdie Rose Clothes here. So if you guys aren't familiar, in the past, Birdie Rose Clothes, this is our current Depop page. Over the past few weeks, we wrote our backend script for Depop scraping. So this 100 and 200 and something line script here, basically what it does is it will go through, it will open the page. I can actually just run it for you guys to see here. Let's go. I gotta remember because we are using a script now, we're not doing with play button. So we need a CD server. We need to go Python -m. We're gonna go app slash scripts slash depop scrape. Do you do .py? No. App script. Okay, so then let's see here. Maybe we have to do. How do we get this to run again? I forgot. Oh! We might have to do. No module server. How do you do this? I forgot. Well, does it have my previous things in here? No. So remember, we can't use the play button anymore. Right, we need to run it from the terminal here. Now that we have it nested in our project, that we layered it here. So I'm trying to figure out how that we did that again. Anyone remember? Python. No, so hold on. Running script from server in root. Come on, give me the money. I forgot how to do it. Python. I don't know. This sucks. How do you run this thing? We're in server. No, we need to CD down into server. Right, we need to run Python of app slash scripts slash depop scrape. This is file directory. Cannot open file. Users Michael Deming, Birdie Rose Close. Birdie Rose Close server. Okay, server. App. Scripts. Depop scrape. This is file directory exists. This sucks. We're never gonna get started here. So you need the depop.py extension. No module named app. Bug on me. Hold up. Is it script or module? So I have my, that's the thing is, now I have this. I forgot how to run this thing. Script is fine, debug script, but when it runs Python, another button. Run inside server directly. Python app.scripts.depop.script. Okay, so yeah, you're right. You were right, Aurora Sor. I'm app.scripts.depop.script. Ah, here we go. Yeah, Aurora Sor. Good on you. Good memory. Good memory. All right, so this is our script. So it goes in. It's downloading pictures right now, and then it's going through. It automatically scrapes down the page. Or the ghost. It's a ghost. It automatically scrapes through the page. And then extracts out the necessary information. We currently have it configured to just the first 6. Just because those are the only ones we have configured to have the item numbers within it, the listing, and then we get this. So our data here, product pictures, and here's all of our stuff. We extracted out the pictures for each of the products that we found on that page, and the first 6, and then we have a database here where we have the first 6 products here. So there's product 1, right? There's product 2. Product 2, product 3, product 4, product 5, and product 6. There they all are. And they have all their necessary information taken from Depop. Okay, so long time coming to get to this point. So now what we are trying to do is basically take these product information, right? Take these individual products and go ahead and build a site to feed customers to the Depop. Baseball shirt hasn't sold yet. Yeah, right. So we're like, the goal here is to not have our own checkout system and to divert customers away from Depop, because I really like Depop's platform. I like its customer base. I like the way it handles shipping for us. So why, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But we still need to have customers find Depop. Like, Depop's not really good at getting in Google search engines optimization results, or like you can't really find it. So by having a page be the middleman, we could automatically have stuff sync from what's posted on Depop to our page, and then just feed to those listings. Right? Hey Jamie, how's it going? Controller Crusader! Did you try out the new Mac OS? I have not tried it out. Is it available for update? I have not tried it out yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building the front end. Yeah, right? So we need to start building the product page. I think that's our first step here. So I kind of started building the hero page, but that's really not kind of viable or important to the minimum viable product, or the MVP. We're really going hard in this business framework here. So it's not really viable to, or value added to the minimum viable product at the moment, the hero page. So we kind of just need to get the meat of what's actually needed. So let's go ahead and back it up a little bit here. Okay, let's go Control C, Control L. Let's back it up. Let's open up a new thing here. Let's go CD into client. Let's go ahead and we have Birdie Rose Close app. So we're going to cd into brc react app, and we're going to do npm run dev, and then we click here. That takes us to our page. So now if we go into here, we can go into our source folder, and we have our features here. So I'm not really sure how I'm still trying to figure out the best way. I'm still learning React, trying to figure out the best way to keep organized in our project structure here. Right. So if we have features, right? Each feature is basically like a component of our site. So this is products, which has a page, products page, that then is going to go on to our app here, right? Product page here. So then products page has individual components from products feature within it and set hooks and whatnot. Okay. So you have product card, product grid. Okay, got you. That's what we set up last time. Okay, so we need an individual product card, and then we need a grid of products, and then we need to take that grid of products and place it within the product page. Right? He's getting paid $0, so he's providing infinite value to the biggest business. Yeah, getting scammed right now by the business, working for free. Okay. So let's go here and do, I'm not very good at React, y'all. We're gonna try this out. Okay, so we want a product card, okay? Let's go ahead and do function product card, right? Is this how you do? Yeah. Okay, we're going to return a fragment like such. Actually, we'll just house it into a div object like so. Okay, so product card, here we go. So if I type in hello world here, do we see it? Product page, app here, product page. Oh no, we need to export default product card. Right. There we go. Okay. Which resources did you learn to use to learn programming? Yeah, hey Lance. Thanks so much for coming in. Everything I've learned and used to learn to myself programming is in my Discord down below. So if you want, you can check it out there, and it's all for free in there. Complete outline. I've put a lot of hard work getting it out for you guys and updated. Okay, so we have product card. So hello world. Okay, so now what we're gonna do. So what is the product card gonna need? Okay, let's plan this out. Obviously, we're gonna need some sort of like we're wrapping div to contain the actual card itself. This div if we set so would we want to set the width of the card to like let's say 2. If we say height of like 2, let's just make it, and then let's put a border on it so we can see it. Okay, there it is. Really low in there. 20. Quite big. Okay. So width, this makes it automatically the full size. Okay. So let's go here and say, do not write code for me. I am trying to learn/remember React and Tailwind. I'm trying to build a product card that mimics a Polaroid type feel. Verbally, let's walk through my component. The Polaroid a rectangular frame slightly taller than wide. Okay, so let's do, I don't know, width. If we give it a specific width of like can you give like 2 REM? Just to be like 500 is a little big. We'll do like 300 pixels. Okay, so we want the rectangular frame slightly taller than wide. So we want a height to come onto here and have, let's say, a 500 pixel height. Okay, so that's a little bit too big. So let's go 4. Probably even 3.5. Okay, that looks good. A white border, thicker at the bottom. A white border, thicker at the bottom. So if we white, okay, that fills it white. Now we want to have like a, not necessarily a cutout, but like the image be above. Hey Tyler, how's it going? I appreciate you so much for coming in. Hey Huss, how's it going? We're transitioning kind of our more brick and mortar physical product style business into a completely automated tech business here. So from selling, rehoming, vintage clothing, person to person, and stuff like that, to tech based, to internet functionality, yeah. Yo, Bean Machine 13, I like that name. How's it going? You guys are new here. My name is Michael. I'm 26. I got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. Been teaching myself how to code for the past year and a half now, mainly in Python. That's kind of like my bread and butter, I guess you could say. We're learning React and Tailwind right now, trying to build a product card for a product. So let's go ahead and, so we have white border. Okay, so then let's take the border off. Okay, let's provide a drop shadow to XL. Maybe not a drop shadow, but is there a box shadow? Let me open the Tailwind docs. Let's get looking at some styling with utility classes. Layout. Box shadow. So there's a box shadow, there's a text shadow. What was it? Box shadow. Oh, it's right. Okay, so it's shadow. Okay, it's just shadow then. Okay, we can always come back and reconfigure, right? Let's just make it XL. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to have within here right, if we're gonna make this look like a Polaroid, it's gonna have an image, right, to have, right? Now I'm gonna quickly just take from here so we can try to mimic it. I'm gonna take this and just throw it into here really quickly. Just temporarily. So if I'm on the product card, let's go ahead and try to get this image. So let's say import FUH486 underscore 0 dot JPG from, is it import from? And then this would be shoot. How do you do this? Dot components. From quote, this is in, so dot slash slash the missing semicolon. Ah, shoot. How do you do this? Okay, so expected colon. What? From, I don't know, how do you do it? Let's just throw it in here. Whatever, let's just throw it in component. Import FUH486 dot JPEG from this directory. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to use React. Oh, so you just do the image title from components slash it's declared, but it's never read. I suck. I'm so terrible at this. How can we get this image in here? Dot slash components slash okay, so then if we take image this doesn't exist. This is so annoying. I always get tripped up on just importing files for like forever. So if we're within components, do we just do self like this? Oh wait, we're missing a okay, I think there we go. So now if we say source equals to fu here, there we go. Fine. Phew. Okay. Okay, there we go. Jeez Louise. Okay. So now we have our image on the card. Hey Judy, first time catching up to the stream. Are you using Django or React? React for sure here, yeah. Hey, sharing channel, welcome. Okay, so then let's go ahead. Let's bring back up our thing here, our notes that we wanted to do. Okay, so we wanted a rectangular frame, a white border, thicker at the bottom than at top sides. Yep, right. So a border around the image. So we need to, let's say, margin bottom. No, it would be padding bottom 1. What happens if we do like 10? So actually, let's not set width and height here. If we say padding bottom of 1, that extends, okay, now if we do 10. Okay, now we say 25. Okay, so then if we want to reduce the container size now that we have this padding on the bottom, so that did that. We have this naturally though because the image is just some amount of size less, right? So if we did padding bottom of like 50 here, doesn't do anything. Okay, that does extend out. Interesting. So how would you... Huh. Hey, Mike. Or sorry, hey, Ray. I read your chat. How's it going, my guy? Let's get some different tunes going here. I'm kind of over the jazz right now. Ooh, my bad. All right, cool. Here we go. Okay, so I guess let's just go a little bit. This is what I have so far for the Polaroid. Let's just learn, right? Okay, we got borders like a Polaroid. A Polaroid often has borders on the top, side, and much thicker at the bottom. Right now your div is just white, so the image is touching the edges. To get that feel, make the div the Polaroid frame. Keep the image inside, but shrink it a little with padding or rounded corners. Okay, so if we want, let's go here. We'll do right here. So we'll do padding. If we do like we do padding to like 10 on all sides. Okay, so that's 9. Let's do like 5. Okay. Now, the thing is though, is do I want to so padding 5 would be like even like 3, 4, like that, right? Now if we say rounded, small, right? And then we say that didn't round those. So the padding got rid of our padding gets rid of our rounded corners. Huh. I tested my old MacBook and it is Control plus Tab to switch between files. Yeah, I'm not hitting that hotkey here. So, do I want a fixed height on the div? When a height is fixed, you want every card in the grid to line up perfectly no matter the image or caption. Polaroids in real life are all the same size. Huh. Okay, so then if you have a paragraph section. We do class name equals, let's put a border on it. Okay. And let's say width is full, height is full, and so then what if we say overflow hidden? We wouldn't want to say overflow. What if we say height is auto? No. So why does this spill? Why does this spill even though our div is a set? What if I say fit here? No. So then the Polaroid, what's going on here? Hey Gyu, how's it going? Appreciate you for coming in. You guys are awesome. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? What's everybody working on? Let me know what we're building, what we're studying. How's your guys' what we're doing? So this is what I have so far. Getting the P is bleeding. Overflow on the div just cuts off the bleed, but it's still there, right? The outer div has a fixed height. Inside you have the image, which is taking up most of that height, so the paragraph tag has height full. I'm trying to stack below the end of overflowing. Doesn't usually break out, but it's technically spilling out. It's in a Polaroid. The bottom caption is a fixed side. Okay, so if we say, let's put flex column, there we go. So now those are stacked in a column, one on top of each other, within the same div, and that's fitting. Perfect. So then what we need to do though is padding 4 on image removes rounded borders. Okay, so then if we have a div here which contains the image, right, and we provide a class name here of padding 4, there we go, that reduces down. So now if we remove the border on this, now we have that. Right, which is a pretty good looking kind of Polaroid. So let's go look up Polaroid example. So definitely no rounded border on the Polaroid itself, right? No rounded border here. Probably a little bit less. Oh, hold on 1 second, my lady's calling me. 1 second, y'all, my lady calling me. Let me, all right, we back. We back. um, Gianquito, welcome. Thanks so much for coming back here again. Yo, what's going on, V? I appreciate you coming in, dude. We got 34 people in here. If you guys could hit a like, it'd be really appreciative. I really appreciate you guys. You know, it's completely free. I stream this content free. I have Discord free. So if all I ask is hit a like. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. We also have. Let me open my my Streamlab alerts. I have alerts because I'm a actual streamer now, I guess. Streamer here. I have alerts now and stuff, so you guys can feel free to test that out. Yeah, let's test it out, see if it's working. Yeah, it is working. Okay, good. Okay. I tried out NeoVim the last 2 days and got very frustrated. Hey, Slow, what was your experience? What's NeoVim kind of about? I've heard a lot of people, like YouTube people, like it and use it, but I honestly never have looked into it. Okay, I'm going to take off the rounded border on here. We don't want that either. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now, there is kind of like this kind of smallish sunken border feel almost to these Polaroids. Like, it's not as like, there is kind of like this border, right? So what if we provide a border here to the image? Oh no, we don't want to do that there, right? We want to do it here. And then let's do literally like the smallest border we can create. So 1, I guess. And then can I give this border radius? Border outline. Okay, so what if we do outline rather? Let's just try this. Let's just see what that looks like. Let's do amber, like, it's kind of the same as border then, right? Is there any difference between outline and border? Oh, you can have like an offset. Outline. Give me a rundown of outline versus border. Outline versus border. Border is a line around the edge of an element, part of the element's box model inside the element's dimensions. Whereas an outline outside the element's outer edge, not a part of the box model, does not take up space, won't push or shrink the element, the content. Ah. So outline blue 500, outline 2. Where'd it go? Border. So outline offset. Oh, because it'll just expand outwards. Huh, okay. So then if we have outline dash thanks so much for the subscribe, Gree. I appreciate you so much for subbing on Twitch. On YouTube. You're awesome, my guy. So outline neutral, 700. Now let's do, maybe make this a little bit fainter, even more so. And then let's give okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now if we go 400. I wish there was one in between 1 and 2. There we go. We can do 1.5. All right, there we go. So that kind of 400-ish. It's hard to see, but it definitely does do it. Like if I get rid of that, right? It's gone. Now let's put it back. It definitely has that kind of effect. Like, we can obviously increase it slightly or decrease it slightly, but it does have that kind of sunken-ish effect. Let's go 600, maybe a little bit darker, but make it a little bit thinner. About 0.5 pixels. Can you not do fractional pixels like that? There we go. We'll leave it like that. Nah, I don't want to install Claude. Why would I have it do it? Y'all are so boring. Why do you guys want to have stuff that's like... You guys are so... people are so stuck on like the instant gratification of like completing just the project now and like... I don't know. I feel like there's like some... There's like some universal energy that goes into like... You know... effort, right, and learning, and like I get no personal gratification having Claude spit out a design for me. Like, I don't know. How do you guys do that? How do you guys just like, okay, I'll do it. I'll give it what it gives me. Like, don't you guys get any like personal, merit or like goals out of like what you build? And honestly, like, I feel kind of like a fraudster if I were to do that. Okay, so cool. So now that's not too bad. So border, because this div has a padding top. So let's give padding top, padding left 4, and padding right 4. And let's do padding on the bottom of just 2. So a little bit less on the padding here, so we can keep the interaction here. Maybe just like a 1. I don't want to do a 4. That's too much. No, let's do 2. That's fine. Yeah, vibe code with Claude, then spend twice the amount of hours debugging if something goes wrong. Probably. Right? By just spending the time up front, learning and spending, it's not like it's not like a sunken investment. Like I can take all this knowledge and practice that I'm doing now, like for example, like I was building another kind of task tracker project management tool offline in some spare time I had, just something a little bit more advanced to track my projects. I was thinking could be a useful tool, and it's doing the same thing, like, right, it's reinventing the wheel. It's making another task tracker. It's another project management tool. Like, there's already a million of them, but I just told myself, like, it's not about this is not everything is to like make money or like change the world. Really, there's levels to these things. It's just for fun, and the you got to think the value is the practice that you got into it. You go and play basketball for fun, right, and get better at basketball without even realizing it, just by playing, right? You can't have cloud code play basketball for you. So, all right. Now what we'll do is, on this paragraph, I'm going to apply a padding of like 1 here. So if I type in like blah blah, let me do, what is it, Lauren, okay, so let's see where we can strategically align the inside of this paragraph. Okay, so let's actually make a div here. I'm going to use this for the div. And I'm going to take my paragraph. I'm going to put it inside my div. Right? And then what I'm going to do is overflow in. So the thing that does, though, so with these, we wouldn't give this much text, right? Okay, so let's say this is going to be item or product title, right? And we're going to have another paragraph. It's going to be size, right? We're going to have another paragraph for pricing. So a product size title, with the size and maybe a price below it. So this will be price, size, how should I do this? Okay, so if we have product title, price, and size, then we have, so if we want to make the title centered, and then I'll have the price down in the right, or the size in the bottom right, and then the price underneath the title. How do I want to do it? Title in the middle, size down in the bottom right, and price below the title. So price and size are in line. How should we do it? So height is full. Overflow. What is clip? Clips it off. How do I want to do it? I'm not really sure. So if we have, we have our Polaroid, right, with the image inside. I could have like, right, shirt, and like the size down here. Maybe it'd be cute to have like a little like price tag like hanging off the Polaroid or something. We could do, or like shirt. I don't know. What do you guys think? How should we organize the text on the Polaroid? Let's look up like Polaroid text. See if we get any like hits here. For some inspiration. like, candid moments. Oh God. These AI images. The heck? What about using a real Polaroid image as the base? I tried that. I I tried that, and honestly it didn't have much of a difference, like in terms of like the look of like as you can see all these examples, like I'm pretty sure like these were all just made with, I mean, we could like take like this Polaroid here. This is for sure just like digital with like what we're doing here, right? Pretty much doing the same exact thing, right? Except this one looks like it might be a little bit longer with rounded borders. Right? So if we do want to go border or rounded, small, okay. So we have product title, price, and size. Come on, Mike, think about this. Price, it's not that hard. Title. I guess just like in the bottom, the price, below the title, and then the bottom right, the size, I guess would probably be the best way. Okay, how could you do this then? So your product title. So if we say, so this is going to be all of these divs. So this is going to be flex, column, right? Let me remove this overflow for now so I can see. So if we say like small, price is like what? Let's just do like an example, $10. And let's do like vintage baseball team. Vintage graphic baseball t-shirt. So then what we're going to do is we would probably so how could I align inline, separate them out? No, but I want the, how do you do this? I want to do the, we already have padding. And then so we want to have the S, the size, and the price in the same line. No. Yeah. We just want to move. No, we want it to be in the bottom right corner. So let's go. Align bottom. No. Okay, so we want to have all of these. So justify center, items center. Okay. If I get rid of the justify center here and I put it here, no, because it's not justifying center to the parent. Right. So now if I can go text align. How could I okay, obviously I would have to do this. Take a div here, put in these two items, right? Create a div here for the paragraph tag. Okay, so that's align center. Now we're going to so if I go okay, that's border width full. Okay, justify center. No. Item center, text center. There we go. Okay. Text center. Now let me apply a border here so I can see where it's going on. Okay. We'll go width full. Okay. Flex row. Justify between. Now how can I put that $10 right below no. Let's get caught up on some chats here. What about using real Polaroid? Maybe you can get the real look by adding a grain texture. Yeah. If you want to see some of my more biotech related projects, you can go to my website, michaeldeming.com, and view some of my projects there. I'll let you know that most of them are hosted using render.com, and so they have a kind of a slow initial startup time on your first query, but after that the site is pretty good. But yeah, you can go to michaeldeming.com/projects to get access to all of my projects within kind of like my catalog here that I've got so far. So pretty cool. We built this page live on stream too. So if you wanted to see some of my biotech related projects such as SpectroSim or ChromaPlot, right, those are there. Right now we're moving on to some projects that can actually make you some money, potentially. So I want to have these items. So what if we just say, right, okay, that'll justify center. Can I say inline? No. Now this would be text, right? Right. Right, that would be that, but our Polaroid's not big enough to fit that. So I want the 10 and this to be together. Okay, let's take what we got so far. We'll go. Okay, I am back with an update so far for my Polaroid style product card. I am having some trouble getting the size, or like I say again, don't show code. Let's talk through this so I can write it. I am trying to get the price and size to be in line, but the price to be centered and the size to be right. Alright, let's talk through this. Right now your price and size are stacked because they're both inside a p tag on separate lines, and the parent div flex and column style. To make them inline, you want the parent to be horizontal flex container. Right, yeah, so that's what we had before. We had the flex row. The price can live in the center. To make them inline, hold on, no, wait. This is the full width. For the price, you just can drop it. For the price, if you just drop it into that flex row, it'll just sit left by default. You can force it into the middle with flex grow, or by wrapping it and using justify center. So we say flex grow here. Ah, let's go. So will that, do I even need this now? No. Nice. There we go. What did the flex grow do? The flex grow controls how much a flex item expands to fill available space in the parent. Think of it like this item wants more room if there's extra space. Ah, okay, so instead of it just being here, it grew the flex, and now I could center the text individual here, and then have this be pushed off to the right. I could probably keep the text right there just in case. Something like that. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so now if we remove these borders, nice. So now let's go to our text here, right? So this is, we'll make a comment here and say this is the caption. This is the image, right? Okay. And then, so then if we give this a little bit of a gap, or we say, so here if we say justify between, that extends it out as much as possible, right? Now, if we want to give a little bit more padding, so this isn't so, there we go. Padding top 1, padding right of 2, and padding left, or can I say padding in the Y direction 2. No, sorry, padding in the X direction 2. Padding in the Y direction 1. Baby crying outside. Okay, that looks pretty good. What do you guys think about that? Let's get caught up on some chats. Yo, Vange, welcome back in, dude. It's awesome to hear from you again. How you doing, my guy? Doing homework? What homework you working on? What class you working on? Okay, nice. So now we have that, which looks pretty good. What do you guys think? So if we were to okay, this looks pretty good. Okay, so let's say, how does this look? Overall, the card is a flex column, so the image sits on top, the caption details sit below. The padding around the image is this, keeps it from touching the edges. The caption area spreads the title and this evenly. The price size is exactly what you wanted. Outline on the image. Right now you're using an outline on the Polaroid fill. You might prefer a border instead, because it doesn't respect the image's rounded corners. If we do round the corners of the image. Okay, so let's do, if we do, instead of outline, let's do border neutral, and then do border 0.5 pixels like such. Maybe make it 1 pixel, 2 pixels, 5 pixels. Okay, that looks pretty good. Keep this down to, we make this like 300, then increase this to the 2. Let's make it like 200. Get 100. Okay, there we go. Now that kind of has like that sunken kind of type of embossed look almost to how like it would have been kind of sealed with the image inside of the frame, right? That looks really good. I think that looks awesome. Now, obviously, the font and stuff is terrible, but we can, we will figure that out. Cool. Nice. So let's inspect this up here. Let's see how this div looks on some different devices. Nice. Looks responsive. It's too small. Nice. Cool. Okay, now let's say, okay, I have the basic outline created here. What additional styles could I implement to fancy this up if I wanted to? All right. So the drop shadow, you already have a shadow XL, but maybe try shadow 2XL or colored shadow for a soft glow. Okay, so if we try shadow 2XL to increase the shadow distance. I kind of want it more like tailored though to the Polaroid, less like spread and fade. With shadow gray 400 for a soft glow. Let's try that. Shadow dash gray dash 400 over 50. Kind of gives it just a nice, so if I say black, gray, let's make this gray 500, a little bit darker. Oh, it's GRAY. Yeah, not bad. A little bit of a glow, soft like hue to it. Subtle, so on the image, do we want a rounded corner on the image? So if the image is here, we could provide a rounded and do small. Okay, so let's say that we have, is there a rounded smaller than small? Rounded 0. Okay, you specify the pixel. So it is pretty difficult to tell. There we go. I like a little bit less of a round than the small, like a 3 pixel round. Wait, 2. Nice. All right. Nice. Cool. Yo, what's going on, Webnick? I appreciate you, dude. How's it going? You're awesome, my guy. Welcome in. Learning programs so you can use Python to build pharmaceuticals? No. Jesse, let's cook. Yeah, hello, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. And I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls. I've made a couple of cool projects like SpectroSim, a full stack, spectroscopy visualizer that pulls data from PubChem. I built ChromaPlot, which does a simulation for chromatography rather than spectroscopy and whatnot. So you can view my projects at michaeldeming.com. Right now we're working on kind of a new business where trying to have an actual business here. So at least trying. Let's do 1.5 pixels on this one. This is a little bit too big. I don't want it to be that noticeable. There we go, that's fine. I guess not much of a difference between that and 2, right? Yeah, whatever. Okay. So what other things do we have? Some other styling ideas that we can maybe try. So a gap between title and price, tag stickers. So background texture. Background white is clean, but I think something like background gradient to be from white. Okay, let's try that. Let's do the background. Let's see, background gradient to be from white to gray 50. It's a slight kind of gradient. Nah, not really that noticeable. Not really that crazy. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that. So to the card itself, so if we go border gray 200 to the card itself, this can enhance the Polaroid vibe. And we say border 2 1. Maybe let's increase this. Give it a 1. Okay. This is neutral. Maybe I should make it neutral as well. Okay. Let's get caught up here. Yeah, Jimmy. I was going to be a dentist. I was going to go to dental school, but I backed out last minute. I did not take. I was practicing and studying for the DAT exam. I was doing practice exams and stuff, and then I just decided that this wasn't what I wanted to do. So I started applying for my senior year. I started to apply for jobs in like chemical manufacturing, formulation, product, chemical biological product design and stuff like that. And so then I got a job, luckily, at the back end of the hiring frenzy at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, before everything died. And I've been there since. So, yeah. Hey, football world. How's it going? Maxim, you're awesome, dude. Hey, hello, mate. I'm in computer science. I really like the way you learn and code. Just going to join the stream every day from now on. Nice, dude. Yeah, I try my best to stream every day if I don't take a nap after work. Lately, I've been just hitting the... Lately, I've been hitting the couch after work, and let me tell you guys, as soon as I hit the couch, I wake up like 3 hours later, and I'm like, you ever take a nap after work and you wake up like a grenade just went off? You got like flashbang. You're like, what's going on? You're like, what? You're like water. Like that's literally what I feel like. So I had to get up. I had to get some water and just like get thinking again so I could get on stream here as I was running late. But I usually try my best to hop on around 7 p.m. PST to stream and build, right? I'm not very good at React and Tailwind and design. We're trying to learn, trying our best to get something going. I've been learning and teaching myself Python. I'm fairly decent and pretty into intermediate to advanced levels, I guess, of Python. You could say I can kind of write up a pretty easy Python script and learn Python modules pretty quickly and teach myself within a few hours. And so, and then all the Python code we write is by hand. Like, as you can see, we don't ask the AI for code. We like to work through the code ourselves, write the code ourselves. All the code we type is pretty much 99% my own. I just use for brainstorming ideas, chatting, talking through my ideas. It definitely helps with that. Okay, so I don't want to have a shadow on the image. No, that's kind of no. Divider line, border T, no, rounded stickers or tags. Oh, that'd be a good idea. That's a cool thing. Like on the corner, if it had like a sticker that said like new or Like if it was a new, that'd be like a cute little feature, like kind of like a new, like new item sticker, like right, like a, or like one that's like a sale, right? It has like a sale sticker or something on like the corner, would be kind of cool. So let's look up like sale sticker. See some kind of inspiration. Obviously just the word sale. Something kind of like this almost. Maybe I could go into Photoshop and just quickly put together a little object for like a sales sticker. But I guess it's not like super necessary right now, so we can always come back to that. So do we want any like hover effects? I guess those are also not really like super necessary. Okay, so then let's, if we're going to, so we have a card here. Let me provide props to the card. And then let's put in here props.title. Right, and let's do, thank you so much for the subscribe on YouTube, Paladuda. Thank you, I appreciate you. Sorry if I butchered that. I try my best here. If you guys are here and are able to, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like on the stream. It really, really helps. Let's pause the tunes really quickly, and let me get... let me pause the tunes really quickly. Sorry, and then just so I can let my headphones charge real quick. So then we'll put into here props dot price, and then we'll put into here props dot size, right? And so what we can do is now we have product grid, right? So we're going to go product grid. Oh. Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you so much, Shri. You're awesome. That's so kind of you. You really didn't have to do that, honestly. Thanks so much for the tip. You're awesome. Let's give some hearts and likes in chat for Shri. Thanks so much. You are thebomb.com. Awesome. You're so cool. Let me, you got me blushing. Can I pin the chat? Oh, I don't think I can. Shout out Shri. I'll pin that one. All right, shout out Shri for the 20. Is that a rupee? Thank you so much. You're honestly too kind. That's so sweet of you. Okay, so we have product card, product grid. This is gonna be product grid, right? Let's go ahead and insert the product grid. Right? And let's try this out. So product card goes into product grid now, rather, right? Okay. So now we will export default product grid. Okay. Sweet. So how do you do this to like, obviously you'd have to use JavaScript to load. Is React fun? I'm learning Vue. Yeah. It's definitely a challenge here that we're having to learn here. It's fun though. Okay, so product grid. So div. Now let's say we added a bunch of products, right? We would have a bunch of product objects that we would be extracting out information of. So how, I don't know, should we first just do it statically and then configure for, I don't know. Okay, so obviously this is going to have some product cards in here, right? You're going to have some product cards. And then we're going to give title equal to vintage baseball shirt. Vintage baseball shirt price equals to $10, and then size equals to small, right? So now if we add in a bunch of products, right, we would go class name here, flex, flex row, flex wrap, justify enter, space gap 1 10. Yo, wow, dude. Your C++ is better. Better. I am too a programmer and cybersecurity expert. Love your stream, sir. Love from White Hat Hacker. Python is theoretical more. Nice. Thanks so much for the 100. I appreciate you. Is that rupee? I don't know that currency. Oh, there's a bug. Get out of here. Let me look it up. Rupee symbol. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, dude. You're awesome. That's so kind. Wow. He's coming through. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. That's so kind. Really, we're popping off here on this stream, boys. We are popping off. Let's go. Thank you guys all for being here. We're building a full stack kind of a storefront site that'll feed people to our Depop to then actually check out, right? We already have a web scraper script that extracts out all of the data from our Depop, right? We wrote this web script that extracts out all of the data from the Depop and stores it within our objects. And then we're
going to take those objects and put them up onto our page, basically creating a mirror of what is offered on our Depop to what is on our website, so we can use our website to feed people into the Depop. If you guys aren't familiar, Depop is just a site for selling kind of vintage clothing of all, right? I've been teaching myself programming for about a year now, primarily in a little over a year, primarily in Python. We've read books like Data Structures and Algorithms in Python. We're currently reading, read books like Python Crash Course, Fluent Python, Introductions to Algorithms, and Introduction to Algorithms by CLRS, which we're reading right now on stream. Doing MIT Open Courseware 6.0002, Introduction to Computational Thinking and Data Science, Harvard CS50X that we've completed, CS50P. So a bunch of independent online resources completely for free. I have a Discord link down below in the description where I've kind of really done a lot of hard work conglomerating all of my resources into a centralized hub for you guys completely for free. So if you guys would like a roadmap of what I've used to learn, as well as kind of a place where you can showcase your projects, discuss and chat with everybody in the community, and get access to some of my stock plays too. We do like to do a little bit of stock gambling. We've been pretty successful at it so far. Okay, nice. So that's pretty cool. We have products now on the page. Um, okay, we have products. We do want to apply a hover effect on the product. So let's say on the product card, let's try a hover of how do you do hover? Forgot. Let's take a peek here. Height, overflow, hyphens, background attachment clip, shadow, filters, tables, transform interactivity. Okay, hover. So it is a hover cursor. Like that? No. Hover cursor React. Or sorry, Tailwind. Okay, so you provide a cursor dash pointer. Okay. Now we're getting a pointer, good. Now if we do hover, right? What happens if we just increase the size slightly, like a little bit of, so hover, slight, bulge effect, pause. Transition from, okay, so we have to apply a few things, right? So you apply a hover effect of scale 105. Like that'll scale up on the hover, right? Now to make it a little bit clean, we can go transform, transition, transform, and then give a duration to smooth it out. Nice. Now, if we make the hover scale 101, just a little bit, maybe 102. And then let's apply how can you apply multiple effects on hover? Do you just okay, you just keep applying that hover is that thing. Okay, so you say hover, let's go shadow, gray. Let's change this to like a little bit of a lighter color, like maybe like 300. So you kind of get a little bit of highlighting there. See that little highlight that comes in the background now on hover? Maybe make it a little bit less. There you go. It's a little bit of lighting that happens.
That's by the way, I am a programmer. That's why I have no girlfriend because we are good with numbers. Everyone knows that. Why do you want to be a programmer? I just really find computer science to be really fascinating. Coming from a physical science background, I think it's honestly a human miracle that we've transitioned physical sedimentary materials, rocks and whatnot into computer programs. Like literally, we've transitioned sand and silicone into words on a screen that can run at at speeds of light. It's like it's just so insane. Like if you actually break it down to what it is and where how far we've come as like humans, like even if you like at marvels of like just modern engineering in general too is just fascinate me as a scientist. Like from architecture, buildings to like the fact that humans we've been able to come up with these creations from nothing is one of the is truly the miracle of the world in my opinion. So I wanted to learn more, and I think that especially in today's modern society, education is being pushed as a byproduct or like a secondary thing. And I think that's mainly to, this isn't to get like, I don't get political or anything like that, but I think that's mainly to kind of keep people in line, and to reduce the access to education, to keep people in line, to keep them satisfied with the status quo of 9 to 5 work for minimal pay, for reduced benefits. I think that by educating yourself in any front, whether it be programming, just keeping your brain stimulated to where you're able to learn and stay fresh for modern events, it just all I think makes you a better person as well. So kind of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we have the product grid here, which just takes in products, right? Okay. And so let's apply a border here. Let's apply a padding of 10. Okay. So now wherever we're just going to take this product grid and place it onto our product page, right? That's what's happening here. So on our product page is we can have probably a nav bar up top, like a like the products themselves, right? And whatnot.
King of Shad says that resonates. People thinking that's nice, Ree. I appreciate you so much for being here. Grimm's looking good. You like it, Grim, so far? Kind of going for like a Polaroid look. Now that we haven't, obviously the text is just we haven't styled text or anything like that, fonts, but just from just a what we have so far, I don't think it looks too bad. Now, you guys might be thinking like, oh, this is kind of like there's nothing going on here, right? It's gonna be a slow burn, right? We're building up chunk by chunk, chunk by chunk. We ain't no full stack dev yet. We are trying to get there, hopefully. So slow burn here, boys. But see, now we have a product grid that we can place on the product page. Now the thing is that these products are just in here statically. So we would have to set up some JavaScript to load products from the database into the page, and then into the product page, and then feed those products into the grid, right? You would have a list of products, which are product objects, which would go into the grid here. Or we would have to use like something like that. Let's go ahead and do some chats here. Let's see. Let's get a new chat going. Let's do some brainstorming. Hello. I'm trying to figure out how to build a dynamic product page, right? So currently we are scraping our Depop page and extracting out all of the product objects from the network response. We are intercepting it and going through, taking all the images and all of the individual information for each product, wrapping those into a product object and saving that into a JSON. Now, within React within my front end, I need to load those products from that JSON file and feed them into the product grid component via its props. And so that'll be a list of product objects, and then iterate over the list of product objects and create a product card for each product object, assigning the props of title, size, and price to the product card. How do you go about doing this with React and JavaScript? So you want to dynamically generate a product grid in React from a JSON file of products. So we have a JSON file already. So you would import JSON into React. If the JSON is static and local, you can import it directly. You'd have to fetch it using useEffect. Okay, if it wasn't. Okay. Okay, so I currently have my directory broken down to a root with a server and client directory, and all of the data is found in the server directory, which is heavily nested within the server. And my product page is heavily nested within the client directory. So how do I get those products out of that directory where the static file is if it's heavily nested? So your JSON lives inside the server directory while your React app lives inside the client directory, and the paths are deeply nested. You cannot directly import a file from outside the React client folder if you're using your standard React setup like client React or AppVite. React runs in the browser, so it can only access the file shared via HTTP from your server are bundled into the client app. You basically have two approaches. Serve the JSON via your server, recommended. Since your data is in the server folder, the cleanest approach is to expose an endpoint that your React front end can fetch. Example. Suppose your JSON is here within server data products product, right? JSON. Okay, so we would create an endpoint within our server to feed our data into and receive it with React use effect. Juan, how's it going? Thanks so much for the comment. I appreciate you for coming in. You're awesome, my guy. We're 6 subs away for 3150. If we can try to push towards that. Thank you guys so much. We got 35 people in here. We've crossed over 1,100 views this stream. So thank you guys so much for stopping in and sharing your time with me today. Let's get caught back up on chats. Yo, we got another chat here. Holy crap. Or another dono. Can I buy one t-shirt or you'll gift it to me? Yeah, dude, for sure. We'll have to throw a t-shirt your way after all these. Thank you so much, Shri. You're awesome. W Shri in chat. Hey, thank you, Grims, for the follow on Twitch. You're awesome. So glad that our I love those alerts. Shri, you're the man. Thank you so much for all the donos today. You're so kind. Thanks for supporting me. If it's already in JSON, save the objects to the database, then write helper functions to load the objects from the DB. Yeah, so we don't have an actual database set up right now in terms of a SQLite, or like we're not querying. We currently just have it written in JSON right now here, right? So depending on if I would want to convert this over to, hey, Mark, thank you, dude. Mark, Mr. Mark. Nishgal, hey bro, first time on your stream. How long have you been learning to code? I've been teaching myself for a little over a year and a half now. Thanks so much for being here and joining me. For those that are new, I'm 26. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I've been teaching myself how to code and build various projects like SpectroSim that you see here. Other projects on my website like on michaeldeming.com. Right, you can view awesome projects there. I need to get the demo video here. But like ChromaPlot, right, you can see my ChromaPlots project, which just does a simulation of thin layer chromatography or paper chromatography. I kind of just did a couple of projects to recreate some experiments that you do in undergraduate chemistry. Cool, so right now we're working on this here. So we would have to write an endpoint, then it sounds like, to send our JSON information, right? This is our JSON data. The thing is I can't wrap Definitely gonna have to think about how we're gonna do this, as I've never done this before. This is React. Well, this is a JSON, but this is React and Tailwind. We're using React, kind of Node, or whatever, React to build the front end, and then Tailwind to style. And then we have Python as serving as our backend using Fast API and some other things. I love React though, my favorite. Yeah, for sure. I'm impressed you're already on full stack development serving this JSON via request from the server instead of just front end. I'm impressed you're already on full stack development serving this JSON via request from the server instead of just the front end. Yeah. So I'm trying to utilize our Python knowledge, right? That's kind of what I've been learning this entire time, is kind of getting a more intermediate to advanced level of Python, right? We've been able to write scripts like this from scratch through our knowledge so far of parsing a web page and scraping it and whatnot. We had to learn a little bit of playwright and stuff, a little bit about async playwright and some stuff, but building objects and models and stuff like that for products. I'm fairly um, knowledgeable. I've done a lot of practice in all my projects building these kind of objects from scratch. Like I wrote all this by hand. This was not AI. None of this has been AI. Um, cool. We just use AI to verbally learn and to teach and to get insight rather than to write code because I want to write the code. I get much more. It's about it's the gratification, right? Could I explain what Vite does? Honestly, I so I'm not entirely sure what it does altogether, but it mainly, from what my understanding, maybe Grims, if you could chime in or someone else. Um, I've what from what I've understood is that it's a way to quickly get React projects kind of going, right? In terms of it's just it's a package that used can configure your React projects all together with across your like your Tailwind configurations and your React together, and then package it all together to kind of because then you can go also to I'm not yeah someone probably has a better explanation than me. It's just what I found to be the best way to get React to actually the quickest way to get it kind of work getting ready to go, basically. I don't know. Lack of a better word. Okay, so what we did today, we did a pretty good amount of work today. We got a product card. We built a product card, which is kind of like, so for those that are new, I own, me and my girlfriend, we run a vintage rehoming. We like to use the word rehoming, not resell, because we don't, reselling kind of has like a negative connotation for kind of like, kind of scamming, ripping people off with like excessive margins and like really not providing the best customer experience. So our whole goal is really to provide an environmentally friendly business model for rehoming vintage clothing. Clothing is one of the largest sources of pollution in the world, and there's plenty of vintage clothing that is still very good quality, and very honestly a lot better than the current clothing that we see today, in terms of design, quality, whatnot. And it is a market for it, and so me and my girlfriend, we do like vintage clothing. It's kind of like all we really wear and whatnot, and so we do have some knowledge in the field, and so we created this business model to kind of supplement her hobby of vintage shopping, right? We 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 she has this hobby of vintage shopping and thrifting and whatnot, and I created this business to help supplement or basically to negate the expense of it, right? So the whole goal, honestly, is to just break even. Now, if we make money, that's just cherry on the top, and that's kind of what we're going to transitioning into now is to more of a for-profit model than rather just a break-even model. Because before I made this business just so that she could, rather than spending her own money on the hobby, is she just kind of supplementing her hobby with some sales, and so that being said, is now we're trying to transition and take this more seriously now that we've kind of gained a good customer base and we can at least flow into a more tech-based entire business model to where we have items that get, so how we do this is we post items to Instagram for shock drops, like story sales. So we'll post a few items to Instagram for a shock story sale. Whatever doesn't sell then gets posted to the Depop. Now, rather than us having to manually go in and enter all the information saying, okay, this item is now on Depop, this is all the information that we've listed it on Depop. No, no, no. We wrote this script to open up Depop, go over all the items, figure out which items are correlate to the current items in the database, and updating the information accordingly. I was saying, oh, this item's in the database. It's now found on Depop too, right? They posted it on Depop, so we went ahead and yo, thanks so much, dude. You're crazy. You are nuts, dude. 100 from Shri. Thank you. Bye. Let me grab your gift and show it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're so funny. Thank you so much, Shri. I'll see you later. Thanks so much for coming in today. Thanks so much for the support. You're awesome. I really, really appreciate that. You're so kind, truly. I'm a small platform here, so it's very genuine when I say that I really mean it. And, I've been sitting here in my room almost every single day for the past year and a half doing this. So it's fun that, you guys are enjoying it. So thank you so much, Shri. You're awesome. I'll see you tomorrow. Join the Discord, you guys, so we can um, keep the community rolling here. Yeah, he's a Indian Jimmy. Why are you coding when there's AI to do the thing for you? Honestly, I've kind of found success in life kind of doing the opposite of trends, whether it be in investing or now you don't want to go too far from the trend to where you are negating your improvement, right? You're bottlenecking your improvement. Like I still use AI to learn. Like I'm not refusing to use it at all. Like I'm not going against the trend completely, but I'm going against the trend to the point to where I feel that in 3 to 5 years you're going to have an influx of developers that really don't know how to code and that rely so heavily on debugging and that on AI, and that their first response to any sort of error or issue is to ask an LLM. Now that might be the solution, the appropriate solution to do down in the day, down then, right? But I feel like you know, I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of open-ended what ifs right now. A lot of people are. I get this question a lot during my streams, like what do you guys think's gonna happen? Like, do you think it's gonna be changed? Like, I honestly don't know. I'm just sticking to what I do know is that I enjoy coding. I, a lot of people they'll try to tell you that you're wasting your time, or try to tell you how to spend your time. That's just silly. No one can tell you how to spend your time because time is the most valuable thing that you have. So why would you ever let someone else influence how you spend it? Whether it be at a 9 to 5 or anything, right? So, I like to have those mindsets when people come in and try to say, you're kind of wasting your time, or what are you doing this for? Really, it's only a waste of time if you view it's a waste of time. Honestly, I bet you guys play video games. I can guarantee that 99.9% of you aren't getting paid to play video games or aren't going pro in video games. So you could technically say video games are also a waste of time. So, or basketball, or skateboarding, or any hobby really. I don't know why people view coding as something that has to be this monetary success story, and end all be all, when in reality it can be just a hobby, like it is. And I think that the people that treat it that way will be more successful and not burn out and not fall victim to the lack of knowledge that's required in the future. Honestly, let me know your guys' opinion on those. Let me know your guys' opinion on those point of views. I'd love to know your guys' perspectives, especially if you guys are computer science majors. We have quite a few computer science majors in the community here that are in school right now, and I love to hear about their responses. Thank you, Nathan. Nathan returns. I appreciate you. I try to keep positive, right? It's really the world's so negative, man. If you're not gonna try to be positive yourself, then you're gonna just feel negative. So I try to create that here for this stream. All right, so I guess our plan for the next stream, I think we're probably coming to a good point to kind of wrap up for today. So just a recap for what we did today is we built this product card, which kind of has this kind of Polaroid feel. I'll kind of zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better. Where we kind of have this kind of embossed I like this kind of embossed feel that we have to this, as well as this embossed kind of border to the Polaroid itself with the logo, with the picture inside, and some structured text.
So we have that all structured out, which is really nice. Now we have a nice hover effect as well, to where the shadow kind of lightens up and the scale increases upon hover, which is really nice. And then we built the actual product grid, which right now we're kind of statically just serving products in there statically. And so tomorrow, I think our task for tomorrow would be to set up a backend endpoint to actually start setting up endpoints in our server, right? We have been just writing scripts basically to do our Depop parsing, but now we're going to start writing the actual scripts for the main server backend endpoints to serve our data.json here, which is the products that we found from Depop, right? So this American Men's Vintage Tee is the first product. Right now I have it custom tailored to only get the first 6 because those ones are the only ones that have the current format for the item number in the description. So that's kind of the linkage key between our database and the Depop, right? We have to link together our database with the Depop somehow, because we're not going in there into the system and saying that we posted to Depop, right? That creates too much manual work. So what we did is that we I had my girlfriend put the item number that we're assigning. We also wrote this item number generation script as well. So that's right here, right? Generate item number. We wrote this really quickly one day just to generate a random 6-digit code for our purposes, and to load them and whatnot, load and save. And so this 6-digit code is found within the description of the item. It detects that code once it parses through on the response. It links this item to the item found in the database JSON via that code. Okay, it says, okay, this item is in the database. It's also on Depop now. And then it syncs up all of the relevant Depop information, like, you know, the Depop ID and the Depop description, or all the shipping prices, the pricings and stuff like that, right? So it syncs all that up accordingly, and then but also keeps all of our other information that we had, like the title and the conditions and things like that. So yes, there are conditions and sizing on Depop, but when the network response that we're getting out from this page here, we're not actually going into each product and clicking them. We're just intercepting the response from this business page, and the data is a little bit limited. And so what we did to bypass that is, okay, upon acquisition of an item, we will give it some information like a title, a cost of good, a size, a condition, a brand, right? But then Depop will go in and just fill in the missing information to Depop specific, right? We don't really need to go and get the condition and size. It should be one-to-one as when we posted the item, right? Right, we should be able to do that. But if it's slightly off, it's kind of not a huge deal. But we just couldn't access that information without individually clicking, and that just caused an extra amount of work and processing to do, and it just wasn't as fast as we wanted it to be. So now we just do a single scroll through the entire page, extract out all of the product information, save it into here, and now what we need to do is write an endpoint to serve that product information to our product page, right? And then feed all of the products that were found to the product grid. And then from the product grid, we feed each of the products, right? We iterate over all the products and then we feed and create a product card for every product. Cool. So we have a good outline of what needs to take place for the next stream. Let's get caught up on some chats here. You can throw a weekend project together in minutes with Claude. Oh yeah. Vibe coders when the Wi-Fi goes out. Yeah, Jimmy Boats. Let's see how your weekend project goes when you're on an airplane. Mario, if all you can do is what an LLM can do, then you're allowing yourself to be replaced by AI. Exactly, right? there is like I said before, like not going against the trends to the point where you're defying and making it so hard on yourself that you can't keep up, but going against the trend to the point where you stick out from the audience, right? What I've really learned is something of true of value in my short 4 years here as a professional chemist, and learning to code and gone through college, is that the most important thing you can do when trying to either apply somewhere or get noticed is to stand out, and you have to be honest with yourself. The easiest way to go about things is what 99.9% of other people are doing. So if you are, watching YouTube tutorials, recreating web pages from previous existing products, just copying one to one with watching a tutorial on YouTube versus actually just figuring out your own design, figuring out your own way of going about it. Like, yeah, you will gain value from the previous, but from the latter, I feel like you gain just a multitude more experience, and those things set you apart. So we did have an interview for a software engineer chemistry position. So a couple months ago, we were grinding leak code and really grinding for interviews, because we were trying to see maybe if we could give it a shot. So we did. We grinded for a few weeks on leak code, and then sent out some applications, and we got a bite for a software engineer chemist position. Now, in hindsight, they only really wanted a software engineer. They didn't want a chemist because they didn't ask me a single chemistry or physical science related question at all in the entire interview process. It was completely code. But I did not do that well in the live coding interview, and so I got rejected, which is a bummer. But I'd be honest and transparent with you guys that that's what happened. And I was just really nervous. I felt like super sick. I couldn't think. I was just so stressed out about it, and I really got worked up, and it really negatively affected me. But I think what really helped set me apart is that I don't know. Maybe it was luck. A lot of it probably was luck, right? But I do have a degree in a different science, and I showed that passion of learning and building projects that actually bound together the two fields, like with my SpectroSim, with my chroma plot, right? Right. I think those were two big projects that helped. At my work right now, I found an opportunity. Right now, I manually have to manipulate two-dimensional matrix arrays to formulate and predict theoretical concentration yields for a blend of biological solution, right? So think of like if you have a bunch of different lots of some serum, and each of those serums tests at different analytical ranges. What blend of those together could hit a projected target for a product? And so it's a lot of manual manipulation, a lot of plug and chug. And so I actually went to my work, and I went to my boss and my boss's boss, and I said, hey, like, I've been learning how to code, I've been teaching myself, I found success. I really think that we could improve this process with code. And throughout the past month, I've actually been transitioning into more doing actual code at work now. Like, they've allowed me to code at work now, and I've been building a tool with a bioinformatics team with my company to automate this kind of matrix formulation for predicting these theoretical concentration yields. So now we have to kind of go about the optimization portion of it, but I've already developed I wrote in Python basically our current manual method, but in code. So I had a meeting today actually to go over and review that code with the bioinformatics guy, and then plan next steps for implementing linear programming models to actually do these equation balancing. And so we're going to be going over that over the next few weeks. And so I've actually, really lit a fire under myself to, try to implement some of this learning and skills that I've obtained into my 9-to-5 job as a chemist. So we'll see how far that goes. But yes, exactly. As Jimmy says, the biofield is the slowest tech adopter. We are still using 99.9% of our entire process is through Microsoft Office Suite still, Excel, Word. Um, there's no actual formal custom software automation at all. There's like a lot of these biotech companies don't even have proper LIMS systems where they have like, barcode scanners for their materials or whatnot. It's completely manual. It's very archaic. And so, yeah. The first project I made with React was this guy, SpectraSim, which you can access. You can use PubChem database, access the PubChem database, right? And you search up various compounds within PubChem database to produce their spectral data and their absorption spectroscopy. So it's currently hosted with render.com. So the first spin ups time on the server is really slow if you wait like 30 minutes. Right, so we'll come back to that, but this is my first project in React. All my projects can be found on michaeldeming.com though. Let's get caught up on some chats. Depop made it annoying on purpose. Yeah, they probably didn't want to expose too much information of the product to the front end because their API is private. I tried to tap into their API for accessing products, but they restricted it to it's restricted to certain IPs, I think. So we don't have access. We can't get it. It's only internal tool, I think. So I had to kind of do a workaround. That was my solution, right? To rather than going and clicking on each individual listing and getting the more detailed view, is just pre-establishing some baseline information within the database, such as title, size, condition, brand, and then only getting out the Depop pricing and matching it, basically the Depop pricing and matching it associate accordingly, and the pictures, of course. Right. So this is SpectraSim, where you have aspirin. It gives a small description. And then the data, a lambda max and an epsilon max, and then you can generate the curve with Plotly.js here and get actually a Gaussian distribution of the spectral data for aspirin. We could do like caffeine, get caffeine here, generate. There's caffeine. You can see that it has 3 peaks here around 120, 130, and 220, 230, and maybe 270. Yeah, as you can see, 274 is its maximum, which it is right there. So it looks really nice. So, I mean, I definitely feel like I could apply to some more jobs given these current projects, but honestly, I do kind of have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth from that rejection we received, because they were pretty adamant on finding someone with chemistry background, but they didn't ask me a single thing about chemistry. It was, and I didn't do that well on some of the coding things that they asked me. I definitely need to get better at that, and I probably would be better now if I were to do it now. But yeah, I was just, and the whole I don't know, coding in front of someone is pretty nerve-wracking, you guys. The biofield is, can you please show us your first project or something? Anything you built just for learning? Yeah, all of this is I built just for learning. All of this is, nothing in here has made me money. I made a total, in my entire career here as a programmer, I guess Birdie Roast Clothes is somewhat of a profitable business. It does make money. But in terms of the only money I've made from programming is the YouTube channel here. In my year and a half of streaming, I've only made a whopping $100. So it really doesn't, I don't care about the money. It's not about that. The real value is in the learning here. I started as an ecology lab manager doing field sample collection 10 years after this first statistical programming project in that lab. I'm a machine learning engineer. Keep programming where you can. Nice, dude. That's awesome. That's super inspiring. What do you think about rolling my own show? Dude, I honestly have no idea. I don't even know where to start, about that. If, it would probably have to be some sort of wet lab integration with software or something. I don't know.
but not really. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Okay, cool. So, anything else you guys think we should add for the Polaroid itself? Now, just for some basic styling, right? It does the job here. But what do you guys think? In your guys' opinions for styling, and let's give me some feedback for the Polaroid and the product grid. How do we feel about it so far? Right. So obviously there's nothing else on the product page right now, but we just have this product grid which contains product cards and anything. Now we obviously probably get a nav bar on here for the overall page, probably some overall styling and whatnot. But for the core functionality of a minimum viable product, seems pretty good. This is amazing. Thanks, Manuel. You're awesome, dude. Yeah, for sure. The font. Besides the font, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do. I think would be kind of creative for the font is I'm gonna have my girlfriend write and create her own font. Right. I'm gonna use like a font template and have her write out letters, and then I'm gonna have her actual handwriting be the font on the page, or kind of like an accent font. I think would be pretty cool. No, I've never heard of Spring Boot before. Thanks for coming in, Bobby. Bobby boy. If you guys aren't subscribed, I appreciate if you guys could subscribe. Thank you guys so much for crossing us over 3150. You guys are awesome. Thank you truly. Kiwi, thanks for the sub. Mario, Nathan, Sri, Mark, Grims, Gree, Paladuda. Any YouTube channel I would recommend for learning React? The only React resource I've used so far, I've only watched about 2 of the 4 hours of the Bro Code React tutorial video. Bro Code, he's got some really good kind of breakdowns and examples of some simple stuff that you can make with React and kind of for core functionalities. I really like his videos. Bro Code is very, very broken down into the basics. I only watched about 2 hours though. I got up to the use effects, use the state, the hooks, and then I stopped from there. I do think we need to go back through and do some more polishing as we're kind of getting a little bit bottlenecked on our abilities, especially with the hooks and stuff. We'll have to go back and review. 'Cause I'm terrible at JavaScript, let me tell you. But yeah. And then for Tailwind, there's this guy on YouTube that I did watch. Let me see here. Tailwind tutorial. Here, yeah, the Fireship is a good one. JavaScript Mastery, I watched a little bit of, and then I think it's by a specific guy. Yeah, this guy, JavaScript Mastery. This one's a really good course for Tailwind. He's really good. I like his video too. Are you aiming at becoming a full stack dev? Dude, honestly, I don't know. Like it's really quite honest. It's a little bit frustrating because to kind of have any like viable product in today's society is you have to have like a front end to it. So I much prefer just building like writing Python scripts like we've done before for our Depop scraper. Like this is what I really like doing, is writing these like scripts like for managing and organizing data, extracting out data, storing it in certain structures, converting it over, using Python to just do certain things. Right, and or like generating item numbers, creating an item number script, or like I wrote a script. We wrote a project a little bit ago, a couple weeks back,
It was only for a couple of days. We only did it a day or two, but it was for computing the Black-Scholes model for stock option contracts. So in my Discord and in my personal life, I do trade stock options quite frequently, and I found a little bit of success doing so. And so I computed the Black-Scholes model across a various, a suite of stock options for a given ticker symbol around like at the money, to try to evaluate across a current price versus the Black-Scholes model price to predict potential undervalues or whatnot. Now, I was hoping to continue on with this project and maybe do like some cross-referencing those data points against like changes in volatility and volume and like open interest or like Greek manipulation or whatnot, Greek value manipulation, so we could try to create basically like a pricing model for like stock options or something. I don't know, would be kind of cool. But yeah, we're kind of all over the place, just making stuff like a new thing every other week or something. So anywho, if you guys, that sounds like fun to you guys, consider subscribing and follow along to the channel. My name is Michael. I'm 26. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist, teaching myself how to code in Python and React, Tailwind, all that kind of stuff every single day about. All right, you guys. Cool, that was a good recap of what we got so far. So again, tomorrow what we're going to do is write a endpoint. We're going to write an endpoint and start writing endpoints to actually serve our database information, our JSON information, to the front end, to our front end here, to actually populate the individual products rather than having them just be statically hard-coded on the page like this, right? So we can feed in the products via information via props and propagate the information accordingly. So that'll be our task for tomorrow. Also tomorrow, I think we're going to try to do some either reading or reading in Introduction to Algorithms again. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow. We'll start the stream off with about 20 or 30 minutes of reading of the next section of Introductions to Algorithms in Chapter 4. We're almost done with Chapter 4. I'm going back through and uploading to the channel kind of like audiobook basically, where I chop out all of the stutters, all of the chat reads, all of the additional studying and processing for basically just a fluid reading of the entire Introductions to Algorithms CRLS chapters. It's a book heavily used by MIT and many other graduate or undergraduate programs, even undergraduate and graduate programs for learning algorithms in computer science. So I figured that a lot of current majors and students could also utilize those kind of audio books for the chapter and the book. So make sure you guys check that out, and then we'll continue on. Also, we're taking MIT OpenCourseWare 6.0002 Introduction to Computational Thinking and Data Science. So that's a course that we're doing live on the channel. Here we build projects live, do courses live, do the homework live. Everything is completely transparent for you guys. So if you guys would like to follow along with that, we've been doing that. We're on week 8 or problem set 3. So we finished the week 8 lecture and we need to finish the problem set 3 before we move on to week 9. Problem set 3 is just pretty lengthy. It's like 10 or so problems of like building a couple of classes, a couple of children classes, then an overall script to make an iRoomba robot kind of mimic that cleaning mechanism, right? So we're currently working through that kind of homework or problem set right now. And you can get access to that information via my Discord or in my playlist on my YouTube channel. So anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me. Today was a 2-hour and 50-minute stream working through building a kind of Polaroid product card and then an overall product grid. And then tomorrow we will feed the information via an endpoint to our front end page to receive it and populate the information. So again, thank you all so much for being here. Mario Flores, Hans, Nishal, Jimmy Boats, SS Low as always, my boy, Bobby, Manuel, Moby Chabel, TDG, I make cargo Zoom. Yo, what you building? I'm a React dev and designer. Cool to see a chemist learning the trade. Nice, awesome. Thanks so much for coming in here, dude. It's awesome to hear from you. Thanks for joining me. And shout out to our boy Shri today for all the donos. He hit us up with over like 220 rupees of super chats. So shout out to you. You're awesome. Anyways, and oh yeah, so Hans, he says, is it similar to machine learning? The Introduction to Computational Thinking and Data Science course we're taking, MIT Open Courseware 6.0002, the back end of that course starts to transition into machine learning, and that's kind of why we're taking it, as I kind of want to go down machine learning and try to open up that rabbit hole, go down that rabbit hole. So as we wrap up this course, we're going to probably open up like 100 days of machine learning and continue on. So thank you guys so much for being here. Please join and subscribe if you're wanting to learn alongside me computer science and programming from scratch every single day as I teach myself. This is a complete, peer-to-peer. Oh, wow. Just resubbed for 3 months? What? Hey, thank you, Mario. That's crazy. The stream is going off today. You guys are really going nuts today. Yeah, I found that too, Barry. I found that reading textbooks is pretty beneficial for learning a lot compared to videos and stuff. That's what we've been doing. All right, you guys, I've been rambling for quite a while now, so I'm gonna wrap it up for today. If you have any suggestions for how we should style these product cards, now again, the font, it will change. It's just temporary. But let me know in the Discord, and I'm all ears. If you would like to also potentially participate in building this front end and work as a team, I'm also open to that. If you would like to participate in the Discord, we also have some current projects. All my projects are open source, so from my Spectro Sim to my everything, you can feel free to look through the code and contribute to. So it's yeah, now if the code is clean and whatnot, that's another thing, because some of my old code probably is pretty bad. But anyways, you guys. Hey, Ashish, thank you. Ashish Menya. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Sorry if I butchered that. All right, you guys. Make sure you guys come back here tomorrow around 7 p.m. PST, where we'll continue on with our learning and building in React, Python, full stack, MIT, Harvard CS50, etc. Join the Discord. Check out my videos on my YouTube channel. Yeah, you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you. You guys are awesome. This was such a cool